What's up, friends? We continue with the Sports Groove 2.0 on something other than your radio, joined by one of Carolina's finest and longtime NBA veteran, George Lynch, who is, quite frankly, HBCU for life right now. Former coach at Clark Atlanta University and working tirelessly through his HBCU Heroes program to help African-American college students gain access to technological jobs that could benefit them and the country in the not too distant future. What's up, G Lynch? How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, man, you know, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And as a card-carrying Maryland therapist and as apologist, I got to get your thoughts even before we start on two seismic retirements in your beloved ACC. Coach Roy Williams, whom you know real well, just retired from North Carolina. Coach Mike Krzyzewski is going to retire from Duke this year. Man, without having, you know, Coach K and then somebody legitimately, well, I guess you could say Hubert Davis is from the Dean Smith tree, but it's a changed ACC without those two gentlemen. Can you speak to how they impacted the game before we get really into the meat of what we want to talk about here?
Yeah, they are two legendary, like you said, Hall of Famers. You know, carried the ACC for years. You know, Roy stepping in, you know, after, you know, Coach Smith and Bill Guthridge and Matt Doherty, did wonderful things for our university, won 3 titles. And then, you know, it's always sad to see him go, you know, someone like that. But, you know, he's getting up there at age 74. I'm sure he's looking at his grandkids and his own kids, his family, and want to spend time with him. You know, we are appreciative of what he was able to give us after leaving Kansas. And, you know, the same with Coach K. You know, the ACC is going to be different, hopefully with the new young generation of coaches with Hubert Davis. And I think John Shire is going to be the next coach. I was hoping to see one of the DMV's greatest, Johnny Dawkins or Tommy Amaker, get that job. But, you know, it's going to be a different look. You know, with Virginia doing well and Florida State, you know, hey, Maryland might have to come back to the ACC.
Hey, man, I'm hoping to do. Come on, man. Anyway, but let's talk about what you're doing this weekend. It's number 2 of the HBCU Heroes Summer Series to empower students and promote workplace diversity through a event that you guys are starting. It's called the Secure the Bag Career Fest. Talk for a second about what you're trying to accomplish in these summer months that's going to benefit HBCUs in the long run.
You know, with COVID, you know, hitting our country, where worldwide, you know, people losing jobs. You got students coming out of college, didn't get a chance to have internships because of the COVID situations in some circumstances. We were just wanted to use our relationships, myself, Tracy Pennywell, who's a co-founder, another UNC alum. We wanted to use our resources and help these students. Couple things: find access to scholarship money. Secondly, find opportunities to work for corporations who are looking to hire students of diversity. And a lot of times, you know, the Black and brown students don't have the same access to internships, to connections. And we wanted to kind of, you know, bridge that gap because so many corporations are looking to hire students of color.
Interesting that you bring that point up, George, because you and I hate this term, but as a person that didn't go to a, quote, HBCU and went to a PWI, predominantly white institution, it's been a learning, I guess, period of time for you in terms of understanding the perils that have been facing what are now known as HBCUs. You've gone on the front lines, but done it in a very discreet fashion. Can you talk about what you've learned how this fuels your fire, and what specifically, if people log on to hbcuheroes.com on Friday, are going to gain by participating in this virtual event?
Well, first, I got my foot in the door by coaching at a HBCU, Clark, Atlanta, and it was a great experience. I had an opportunity to coach 2 years. I had some great student athletes who know that after basketball that they have to go into the workforce. I went to Chapel Hill, and a lot of students went there. A lot of athletes wanted to be professional athletes. Some more than some had opportunity to do that. But these students were definitely, when you say students first, they were definitely student first, athletes second. And they still needed support, whether it was, scholarships, jobs after their careers are over. And I made it I made it a mission, myself and Tracy Pennywell, to help students at HBCU after my coaching career was over there. Yes, I did not go to an HBCU. I get asked that question all the time, but there were students there that really touched me, supported what I was doing there as a coach, and not only just the athletes. There was students that would come in my office wanting to volunteer, wanted to be managers on the basketball program, and I always felt when the opportunity presented itself to always support students and normal students and student athletes at HBCUs, however we could be. And that was, Tracy and myself, after COVID, with the digital divide, exposed a lot of barriers that Black colleges had. We wanted to do our part and continue to support HBCUs throughout the country, by giving student athletes a platform where they can go on, show their resumes, interview at these corporate positions, and show their intelligence. And that was the most important thing. This would be our second one. City sponsored the last one. I think American Express might sponsor the next one in July. But it's been great. It's been well perceived. I think we had about 700 students come on the last one and interview, ask questions that needed to be asked. They got the support and resources that they needed to improve their LinkedIn, their resumes, their social media accounts, and it's been a positive. It's been a positive thing.
George Lynch is our guest, ladies and gentlemen. He joins us from hbcuheroes.com. Don't forget, coming up this coming Friday on June 11th, it's the second in a series of HBCU Heroes Secure the Bag. And it's all about financial literacy, financial success. And I guess at the end of the day, George, this is about developing wealth, huh?
Yes, we want the students to get jobs that either their majors, jobs that can help them change the economic situations with their families, something that they could be proud of. Last year was a rough year for a lot of students, a lot of parents, a lot of people with jobs, and we're trying to get the students back in the workforce and doing something that they can be proud of, finding a job that they have passion about doing. Because if you have passion doing it, it's not really a job. We want these students to get up in the morning and look forward to going to work, and that's what this is all about.
George, talk about the specifics. What kind of programs, events, specific ways are you helping to bridge the gap through this event?
Well, we have different corporations, anywhere from Citi, Verizon. I got to go back through the list. I can't call it off the top of my head, but we have professional CEOs, executives from different professions, and they speak to the students. They have breakout rooms where they go into sessions, and the students get to engage in conversation with people with high positions who's making those choices. And they advise the students on what to look for in the interview process, how to dress, what to wear, what questions to ask, the full gamut. And we want students to come on and feel like they can, have that support system, bounce ideas and questions off these executives, where that is very informative to the student.
In this particular case, George, you're focusing on startup businesses, mass media, advertising, and entertainment opportunities. As a guy who's been pushing for, STEM, talk about how these curriculums or job opportunities fit into the broad picture of expanding the realm, if you will, of professional opportunities that may be off the beaten path, but are things that can be realistically considered for minority students as they start making decisions towards, translating into professionals in the not too distant future.
Well. A lot of times, students look at these companies from the outside. If you're in marketing and mass media, all these companies have to do that at some point. Whether they have a marketing arm in their development that helps them develop ideas. You wouldn't think that Waste Management is one of the companies that is looking for students that has background in social media, has background in marketing, has a background in, developing commercials. They have those branches within their businesses that they would rather not go out and outsource it. They would rather have employees in-house that they can go across in their marketing team and their advertising, just go across and have those people develop those decisions for them. Take for instance a financial institution with all the hacking and things that's going on. They need cybersecurity. That is big, and that is a STEM. A lot of times is great. So in that field, the cybersecurity and STEM field, I think if the numbers still holding up, there's a 25% growth in that area. So if you're a student and you have a background in coding and STEM and mathematics and engineering, that would be the perfect field to go into. And all those companies, Waste Management, Citigroup, Verizon, AT&T, American Express, they all need someone to watch over their back and support their firewalls. And if you're a bright student and smart enough, I think you should call in and have your resume in hand.
And the thing that is most impressive about this, George, is that you can log in for free. You're not asking for anybody. Just find the link on hbcuheroes.org, common spelling, of course,
right.
and just log in and become a part of the party, eh?
Right. And we also have a $10,000 scholarship. So if you're on the show, you asking the right questions, and you're on the show to the end, you have an opportunity to win $10,000. So for all those undergrads out there that has those student loans to pay and bills, you want to be on this show on Friday.
Yep. So don't forget 1 p.m. East Coast time. That will be 10 a.m. out west. HBCU Heroes is presenting its second, and you're going to do 2 more after this, right? 1 per month up through August?
Every second Friday of the month, we will have a career fest, and we'll have different companies, corporations, different speakers and panelists to ask any questions that the students have.
And are you doing this throughout the year or just for the summer?
Well, we will right now. The Career Fest is throughout the summer, throughout August. But I'm sure once August hit, if this is well received, and we get a lot of good feedback. We get the sponsors that we need to continue it. We know students are looking for jobs all year round. Even the ones that graduate that might not get a job in August or September, they will be looking around the holidays, November, December, to continue that job search.
All right, I got to pick your brain right now before I let you go about some basketball stuff. One of the teams that you played for, well, two of the teams that you played for were in the playoffs this year. One's still standing. If you'd have told me at the beginning of the season that the Lakers would be eliminated at that after the first round, you probably could have taken my whole paycheck. That being said, how shocked are you at seeing what went down out there? And from your perspective as a pro who's been to championship level competition, how different do you think these playoffs are than last year when everything was confined in a bubble and we saw the Lakers win the title, the Heat rise from the East, and both of them are gone outside the bubble the next season in the first round? It's an incredible hoops irony that only the basketball gods seem to be in control of.
Well, it definitely tells you that these guys are human. Those two teams that you mentioned played late in the bubble with a compressed season this year. They, guys didn't have the, proper months to turn around the season and recoup from their bodies. It showed with the Lakers with the injuries. And, Miami didn't have that extra push from this year. And then you got a lot of teams like the Hawks and the Knicks and the, teams like that, put in the work for the summer. His legs was rested. They hit a stride. The Hawks beat the Sixers in game one. Shoot, the Mavericks is a young team that's taking the Clippers to the wire. It's exciting. It's very exciting. I think, like you said, if anybody would have said LeBron was going to be bounced from the first round, with or without Anthony Davis, I would have lost a lot of money on that as well.
Who's been the biggest shock to you this year, bro? What team or what player has stood out, stood up, and you see, wow, this is the team for the future, and he's that dude?
Well, it's been several teams. Denver, with the young guys that they have, Porter stepping up, being the player that, he was before the injury in college. You got young teams like Utah that's showing out. Dallas is taking the Clippers through the ringer. I think Philly got their hands full. They're going to have to respect the Hawks to go out and get that win. Hopefully Embiid will be healthy enough. Unfortunately, the Celtics took one on the chin. So it's, and I like Brooklyn, man. You got that kid from DMV, Kevin Durant. Man, I've been, Kevin and I played for the same high school coach, Stu Vetter. I had a chance to watch him in high school, man, and I was very impressed. Been a big fan of his since he was a junior at a Harker Prep, man. So, not Harker, but Montrose. So it's always been, man, very. I just like the way he plays. I really enjoy it. He's very efficient. He doesn't over dribble like some of these guys today. He can go out and take 16 shots and make 14 to 13 of them, and that's very efficient. I like guys that play the way he plays.
And they've got a three-headed monster, but they seem to be down a man. But at least through the first game of the playoffs, they don't look like they've missed a beat. I've already said on the record that if they stay healthy, they're going to win it. And that was even with LeBron and a healthy AD, no matter who came out the West. I just like them because it seems like those three individual dynamic parts fit like a puzzle when they're together. The trick is keeping them together because one of them seems to be always out.
Well, their role players have definitely stepped up and filled the void. The way that they've assembled that team, like you said, and then at times in their career where James Harden would say, you know what, I'll move to point, I'll be a pass first, Kyrie accepting getting off the ball and doing what he does by scoring, I think is, and of course, KD can play with anybody. So I think it's great. They in New York and doing big things.
Yeah, in New York, big city of dreams. All right, let me lock you in because I know you're a busy man and it's always difficult to track you down. Who do you like just to get to the finals? When all is said and done and we get through the conference phase of this postseason, who are going to be the last two teams left standing? Who's going to fight for the title?
Well, definitely Brooklyn. I don't see anybody in the East beating them. And then in the West, man, I would like to see the Clippers with Kawhi and Paul George, give Paul George that opportunity to get that monkey off his back. But Denver and Utah are going to be a tough out. Whoever wins that Utah Clipper series, I think is going to see Brooklyn in the finals, but Brooklyn is going to prevail to the NBA Finals this year.
He is the great George Lynch, boys and girls, pride of North Carolina, and really, really, really a influencer right now in the HBCU community. Don't forget, coming up Friday, June 11th, it's the second HBCU Career Fest Summer Series, the Secure the Bag Career Fest, where HBCU students get an opportunity in a virtual space for free to be in front of corporate executives that can teach and help them get internships. And who knows, some of those internships may in fact be paid. And all you got to do is go to hbcuheroes.org, log in, tell a friend, about 250,000 of them, because everybody needs some help, and so on and so on. And make sure that your face is in the place to be. Hey, George, I appreciate your time, my brother. It's always good to talk to you. And a little bit later on in the postseason, we'll bring you back. And God knows, as long as these playoffs are going to be, by the time you do July's HBCU's Career Bag Fest, chances are we'll still be playing in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, and it's not just the internship. These corporations are looking to hire. So if you're a college student and one of the corporations is in your town, they're looking to hire college students. If you're a graduate of a college, they're looking to hire graduates also as well.
George got his finger on the pulse of the future for HBCU students, y'all. So take full advantage of it. Again, it's a national initiative to drive opportunities and access for HBCU students in the world of high-tech Fortune 500 companies. For more information and to log on, RSVP as soon as possible to hbcuheroes.org. Is there a cap on the number of people that can get in, or can you just accommodate everybody?
The more the merrier. There's not a cap. Okay,
so unlike the NBA, there is no HBCU student cap. Hey, George, thanks a lot, my man. As HBCU life for myself, we love you. We love you for what you've been doing, and we can't wait till one day you'll be back on the sidelines, I'm sure. And
I hope so. I'm looking forward to it. I miss, I had the opportunity to play for some great coaches, and I would like to, help these guys reach their full potential.
Well, your time is coming, man. We all gotta wait. You know how it is. I'm sure that's one of the lessons that Coach Smith's handed down for you as well. Hey,
yes, sir.
Thanks a lot, George Lynch, HBCUheroes.com. Don't forget to secure the bag this Friday, June 11th, on a computer, smartphone, tablet, however you get your social media groove on. George, thanks a minute. We really appreciate you. And we got more of what you came here for on the other side as the Sports Groove 2.0 rolls on something other than your radio. It's your boy, Mark Gray. It's HSRN, the network, where we put the U in HBCU because Black Talk matters over here.